Hey, you got a lot of fans really excited by your social media posts when you got to town. What was kind of your thought behind that, and what do you, I guess, what are you trying to bring to the program?
I mean, my main motive and like you said, thought behind that was I was on the way up driving with my mom, and we were both just talking about the future, right? So in my mind, I just knew that there's a lot of things ahead that I've never seen before, a lot of experiences that I'm going to be going through for the first time. So I just wanted to make sure that they, the fans, coaches, everybody knew that I wasn't just coming up here to play football or just to do that. I wanted everybody to know that I was coming up here to become a student athlete with emphasis on the athlete, and also a dog. Like I said, I'm one of those cats that I feel like I'm going to give you everything I got, and I'm going to give you 110%. And I know that with that, there's nothing but success that can happen.
Next will be Chris Nee with Knowles 247.
Hey, Julian, we've talked in the past about your body transformation over the last 12, 18 months. Where are you at with that? What's the goal before the season gets here? And just talk a bit about how much work you put into doing it all.
Okay, so when I first got up here, I was at like 301, 300 pounds, like fluctuating from there. And then throughout the first week, I believe I gained like 5 pounds. And then at the beginning of this week, I actually weighed into 318. And at the end of today's practice and conditioning and lifting and stuff like that, I weighed in at 315, so I lost about 5 pounds. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I've just been maintaining and making sure that I gain a lot of muscle. The transition has been very, very smooth. I mean, coming from a big program like St. Thomas, some of the same workouts and stuff that I was doing over there are the same ones that I'm seeing today and the next day and the next day. So, I mean, I just feel like my body's transforming. I'm getting a lot of muscle, more than fat. So I'm gonna just keep my head down, keep working, and yeah.
Next will be Jerry Cooks from the Osceola.
Hey, Julian, what are your expectations going into your freshman season? Are you expecting to compete for a starting position? Are you expecting it to be a huge challenge? What's your mindset going in?
Honestly, my main mindset throughout this whole entire process, recruiting and once I got up here, was just to make sure and play it as if I was a walk-on, right? So my mentality has been, all right, I'm going to come here, I'm going to act like I'm trying to gain a spot and just work my butt off until I actually solidify one. So my main objective and main work ethic and goal is just to, like I said, keep working, keep my head down, just make sure that I'm doing everything that I can do that is right, and everything that's in my control, just make sure that I have it controlled.
All right, next will be Logan Robinson from Knoll Game Day.
Hey, Julian, you have like you said earlier, you have a lot of hungriness in you, and we see it in camp videos too. You get Chippy a few times. How do you think bringing that into Tallahassee and Florida State offensive line, that's turning some things around here that you think your talents will be able to bring to help that?
Well, for the first thing, I know that there's a lot of competition around here, especially with the defensive line, so I'm already knowing that there's going to be a lot of chippy moments and there's going to be a lot of maybe fights in practice and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I just know that I'm not going to put myself into a position that I'm at the point where it's at an excessive, bad thing for the team, I guess. I'm not trying to be out here fighting everybody. And I mean, in that sense, when I said I was gonna bring FSU, what I was gonna bring to FSU as a dog, my main thing was I'm gonna just come here and I'm gonna try to outwork you. And I feel like that raises the standard and raises the competition and raises the work ethic for everybody. So I'm just one of those guys that tries his hardest to, make sure I'm the number one runner, number one lifter, whatever it is, and yeah.
All right, next we'll go to Brennan Simone from Knowles 247.
Hey, Julian, a two-part question for you, both kind of related though. So far being on campus, I guess what's been your favorite part of adapting to the college football lifestyle? And then I guess what's been, maybe not most difficult part of the transition, but just something that's kind of surprised you that you're still kind of adjusting to?
Honestly, my favorite part of campus is the people. I mean, that's the main reason why I chose to come here. I got a bunch of teammates who I'm now turning into my brothers, and I got a bunch of guys who have the same mindset and the same goal as me. So that kind of uplifts you every single day to go out and be great, and I want to get at least 1% better. So, I mean, just being around all these guys, I feel like I'm home. So, I mean, that's the main thing. And then for two, I would say the hardest transition or in that sense would probably be maintaining my sleep schedule, because I mean we're up 24/7. We're always either working out or in class or doing something along those lines. So I mean it's just been making sure that I get that transition from the high school mentality and mindset into that collegiate athlete and student athlete mindset.
Next will be Perry from Tomahawk Nation.
we'll get mom happy real quick. How has like the student life been? Like how has the classes been going? Like
Everything's
what's your favorite class so far?
Yeah.
Like,
Everything's going great. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I have a lot of tutors here that, I mean, they're so very helpful, and I have a lot of people here who are not only in the same position as me, but, I mean, they want to help whenever it comes to classwork. Like me and my teammates will go and we'll sit down and we'll pick each other's brains and stuff like that. So, I mean, my grades are doing great. I have all A's right now, so I'm passing. I'm just making sure that, like I said, I can control the controllable. Yes, sir.
The Aslan Hadavandi from Warchant.
Julian, kind of going back to the passion, I guess you play with, maybe the passion you live life with. Being a freshman, like, do you have to maybe take a step back and kind of let the other guys lead, or do you have to be yourself and play with that sort of passion and that, pursuit and relentlessness that you have?
Right. I would say, honestly, it's a little bit of both. I mean, obviously, I'm going to sit here and I'm not just going to walk in first day and think that I can just talk to people the way that I want to. I kind of have to earn everybody's respect, and I feel that my work ethic has honestly been the main thing that got all of these guys' respects, because at the end of the day, I'm out there pouring all I got, pouring my heart out, and I recognize that these guys recognize that I'm putting in the work and putting in the effort to become a great football player and a great young man. So, I mean, I'm going to still have that chip on my shoulder, and I'm going to still keep working. So if any situation got to that, then I would probably still try to be a leader. But at the end of the day, I'm always trying to bring up my guys, and whenever one of my guys is falling down or is struggling in one aspect of the game, I'm always trying to make sure that they're uplifted, and I'm always on their side.
Okay, we'll go back to Irish FL.
You obviously could have gone to just about anywhere you wanted to go for college, including a lot of programs that are already in the college football playoff, playing for national championships. What was it attracted you to Florida State as opposed to that?
Honestly, it's the coaching staff that's here, the players that are here, and the environment that's here. I mean, going back to that whole recruiting aspect of it, Coach Norvell and Coach Atkins, those are my two guys. I mean, I've been recruited by everyone, like you said, and just something stood out to me about Florida State, that it was real people here and that it wasn't all about the whole recruiting spill and we can do this, this, and that for you. I was told, look, if you come here and you work your butt off, you're going to be able to be in the position in a couple of years, or who knows, maybe it could be this year that you're setting yourself up for success. So that's my main thing.
Next will be Austin Cox from Warchant.
Hey, Julian, hope you're doing good, man. Just wanted to ask you about the challenge, kind of like with Florida State, not taking, deciding to join a team where it's not just, a winner right now, and be able to kind of be a part of taking them and improving. Can you talk about the challenge of that and how the appeal of that
Right.
around Florida State?
I got you. I wasn't just trying to be a part of some bandwagon team and not trying to diss like schools like Alabama or whatever you want to call it, but I wanted to be a part of something that could change the culture, right? So I wanted to come here and I wanted to be with a bunch of guys that knew that it wasn't just going to be handed to you, and you had to put in the work, and everybody had to kind of come through as a unit in order to participate and get those goals and aspirations that we want. So, I mean, Coach Storm says it every single day. I mean, from last year's practice to where we are right now, there's a lot of improvement, and you see that all the guys, I mean, we all kind of hang out with each other, and from what I've been told, it wasn't really like that in the past couple of years. So I just feel like we're changing the environment. Coach Novell's doing a great job of maintaining that energy that he always has 24/7, and I would say that the biggest thing about everything is just everybody's kind of on board. Everybody wants the same goal.
We'll go back to Aslan.
Julian, I guess in the same vein of that question, this place is like quite literally in your blood. I mean, your family has ties to this university. Being here now, being part of this program, do you feel like a sort of like responsibility to really help turn this thing around? Does it feel different for a guy like you that does have ties to this program?
Honestly, I mean, I know I do have the ties with my family and stuff like that, but my main goal and main objective when I came up here was I wanted to create my own legacy. I wanted to make sure that me and the guys will forever be imprinted and will forever have a mark at Florida State through the years that we were here. So the whole class of 2022, we kind of have the same mindset. I mean, I'm no different than any of these other cats, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just one of those guys that, I mean, I was recruited, I got a scholarship, I'm here, and it's like, what are you going to do now that you're here, right? So, I mean, my main thing is I just got to make sure I can control what I can control, being on time to workouts, from making sure that I'm putting the right nutrients in my body, to making sure that I'm getting enough sleep at night. So, I mean, I feel like there is somewhat of a little bit of pressure because I am a legacy recruit, but at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make sure that I can feed my family and I can just create my own legacy.
We'll go back to Ira.
going back to what Chris asked you before about kind of reshaping the body, do you still feel as powerful as you did when you were heavier? And in what ways does this help you get the size you're at now?
Honestly, I had a lot of baby fat when I was 330 my sophomore year or junior year at St. Thomas. So, I mean, I kind of just trimmed down my whole body and I rebuilt it back up. So throughout this whole summer, I got down to like 275 and I just kept working and going up and going up. So I wanted to make sure I get all of that fat off, and, you know, muscle weighs more than fat. So, I mean, I'm just putting a lot of muscle on and I do feel a lot stronger. I mean, I'm getting a lot of bench numbers that are going higher, my squats going higher. Everything is just increasing. So, I mean, like I said, I'm just going to keep working and keep giving it all I got so I can gain the most out of the program.
Next will be Ben Myerson of the Tomahawk Nation.
Hey Julian, before you mentioned that the people really stood out to you, just with Coach Atkins and Coach Norvell, were there any specific conversations or anything you remembered throughout the process that really stood out to you, and were some of the things that made you feel really comfortable coming to FSU?
Yes, sir. I would honestly say that both of them, they were kind of on board with the same thing, and they would always call me, and it wouldn't be more football. It would be, hey, how's your mom doing? I recently just had a little baby sister, so, I mean, from time to time, they would check in and just make sure that everybody's good. So that's the main thing that it kind of drew me to Florida State, because it was more of a people's place, and also the foundation that they have here and everything that they're trying to, everything that we are trying to build up. So, I mean, just there's been multiple conversations. There's just too many for me to count. But it's just that real person and that real communication and that real love for each other is what drew me to Florida State.